If you guys want to make your rotator cuffs go from feeling like this to like this, then you're in the right place. Make sure you guys watch to the end. What's up, you guys? Today I'm going to be going over 5 simple yet effective rotator cuff exercises to help you improve the strength, improve your endurance, and reduce the overall pain of your shoulder so that you can perform better, lift better, and just overall feel better. All you're going to need is a simple light resistance band. We're going for overall endurance, so you don't need anything too strong, and just something to tie it to. Now, if you're interested in how I would treat this in clinic, sometimes I would use manual therapy, sometimes I would needle the shoulder. It all depends on what the diagnosis is. So if you're interested in checking out some of those videos, hit that link right up over here. I'll also leave a link in the description box below. Before we get into the exercises, I'm going to go over a little bit of the anatomy and how the shoulder rotator cuffs work, just to understand why we're doing some of these exercises. But if you're more interested in just looking at the exercises, hit that chapter button below so you can skip this part of the video. Alright, so there are 3 main functions of the shoulder rotator cuffs, and there are 4 muscles that actually do these 3 functions. The first one is going to be external rotation of the shoulder. So any kind of rotational movement toward the outside, so moving our arm from in toward out. Opposing that, we're going to be internal rotation, which is going from outside to in. And the third thing that the rotator cuff does in terms of prime movements is abduction, so taking the arm away from the body. Now, the rotator cuff also functions to help with stability, and that's why it's important that after an injury, we strengthen and build up the endurance of these muscles. So the 4 muscles that are classified within that group of rotator cuff can be broken down to SITS or SITS. So the first one will be supraspinatus, which is a muscle that helps with abduction, so again, moving the shoulder away from the body. The second one, infraspinatus, would be the one that sits on the backside of the shoulder blade and helps with external rotation. T would be the teres minor, which is also an external rotator of the shoulder, and it sits on the outside border of your shoulder blade. And the last one, S, would be subscapularis, which sits on the front side of the shoulder blade and helps with that internal rotation movement. Now, not to say that these muscles and their prime movements are the only movements that they do. They do kind of function all together as a group and help with all 3 of those movements, so abduction, external rotation, and internal rotation. But for simplicity today, in terms of our exercises, we're going to be breaking them down to those 3 movements and 4 muscles. So the first of these exercises is the neutral banded external rotation. We're going to have our elbow close to our body, tucked in, shoulder blade back, chest up. And we're going to rotate our arm from straight all the way 90 degrees out as far as you can. Now we're going to go for 15 repetitions and 3 sets. Now throughout the exercise, there should be no pain, no discomfort through the shoulder. A little bit of fatigue is okay. Now, if you're finding it difficult to maintain this position with the elbow especially, as some people tend to have the elbow fling out, what you can do is you can actually take a towel and place it between your body and the elbow and keep that towel pinched towards the body as you're doing this movement. For internal rotation, we're going to do the exact same but the opposite direction. So again, elbow close to the body, shoulder blade back, chest up. And we're going to start from 90 degrees out and bring it all the way back in. Now the next exercise is a little bit more challenging. We're going to be doing external rotation again, but this time instead of having the elbow close to the body, we're going to lift our arm up to about 90 degrees. We're going to have the band in front of us and rotate our arm back as far as I can. Now you can probably guess what the next exercise is. Again, we're going to go for internal rotation, but this time we're going to be having our arm again at 90 degrees abduction, so just shoulder level. We're going to face away from the band this time, and we're going to be pulling it from up all the way down. Now, sometimes I tell my patients this is the happy cat exercise or the lucky cat exercise, because you might go to those Chinese restaurants and you see that lucky cat kind of waving his arm back and forth at you. Now this next exercise is going to be a little bit different from the first four. We're going to be standing on the band with our foot, and we're going to be having our arm at about a 30 to 45 degree angle away from the body. Again, with the shoulder blade back, chest up. We're going to be lifting our arm from the downward position all the way up to about 90 degrees. So this movement is called a scaption movement, and we're working into the kind of abduction movement, targeting the supraspinatus muscle. Now this final exercise I like to teach my patients is a little bit more fun, I guess. What we're going to do is we're going to tie the band around a pole or a post, and we're going to do something called a W plus a press. So we're going to take the band in both hands, or you can do one hand at a time if you'd like. We're just going to open up into external rotation, and as you're holding that position, we're going to raise our shoulders up overhead and trying to go up as far as we can, maintaining the external rotation through the shoulder. Hope you guys found those exercises helpful. If you did, consider subscribing to this channel. And if you want to know more about how to stretch out a painful shoulder or stretch out the injured shoulder, check these videos out over here, and hopefully those can help you out as well. Catch you next time.